What's up? It is E Sports Live on a Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, talking Titans and a chance for Will Levis to give his thanks to the Carolina Panthers for not drafting him back in the pre-draft process and in the draft night, as Will Levis has an opportunity to shove the Panthers' words right back in their face by beating the Panthers on Sunday in Nissan Stadium. So we'll hear from the Titans rookie quarterback about a couple different topics, about comparing himself to other rookies this season, about what the Panthers told him in the pre-draft process that absolutely delivered the best moment in a Will Levis press conference thus far with Titans media. And then we'll talk about what we expect from you guys, the fans, in Nissan Stadium on Sunday, Thanksgiving weekend. It's been a while since they've been home, and they've lost a lot since they've been home. So what do we expect from Titans fans on Sunday? And then saying we will wrap up our week on a Wednesday because of Thanksgiving. No shows Thanksgiving, no shows Black Friday. We'll wrap up our week with a little trivia. Maybe we'll squeeze in some good news as well. So Sam, what's up? Welcome in. I know you've already been busy as the Titans have an accelerated schedule this week, and then you're taking your trip out to Chicago later on for the quick weekend turnaround. Welcome in.
Yeah, hey, escalated week, like you said. The schedule's been a little jam-packed this week to make sure we can get all of our media availability and content in. And yeah, I mean, we are chugging along with this season. Obviously, things have not gone the way that the Titans would have liked, but there are still a lot of things to watch for and be focused on, Austin. One of those is Will Levis and kind of the whole identifying of what you have in your rookie quarterback right now is a very interesting process that we can watch play out over the next 7 weeks. I was talking with Buck Rising just yesterday, Austin, about how much is still able to change for the Titans and where they go in the future, depending on how Will Levis looks over the next 7 weeks and how it might change the trajectory of the franchise and their approach. So still a ton to talk about and a lot to break down. And Will Levis had a great press conference yesterday. I'm excited to talk about. So anybody joining us out there, make sure you share the show before we jump into all of it. Share the show, hit the share button on Facebook, retweet us on X or Twitter or whatever you're calling it. Make sure you take that YouTube link and send it to a group chat. Put it into a Facebook group. Text it to your friend. Get a Titans fan in your life involved into today's conversation. That's the best way to support A to Z Sports and continue growing the conversation and like the show. Nobody really liking the show this morning. So like the show before we hop into it on a Wednesday morning that's operating as a Friday morning, an end of week show in the middle of the week.
That's right. I've already liked the show on both Facebook and YouTube. So what are you guys doing this morning? All right, let's get it going officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Sam Phelan, our Titans reporter for A to Z Sports.com. And we are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show on our Twitter X timeline, segment by segment at A to Z Sports. And also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. You got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process by seeing them in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans at fbhp.com/ATOZ. The Aura app, protecting your information online, and get a 2-week free trial with our link, aura.com/ATOZ. And Krebs Kubota, an elite Kubota dealer with 3 great locations in the mid-state and online in Columbia, Franklin, and Murfreesboro. Their website, krebskubota.com. So Sam, been a busy week already. Practice Tuesday evening, afternoon, and then a practice today. The injury report not officially required to come out until later today because they're not required to do that on Tuesday. But Will Levis did not practice yesterday. So we'll start, before we dive into some of our topics, we'll start with the fact that Will Levis did not practice yesterday, Sam, and we all kind of watched him hobble off a little bit of foot something, ankle maybe, I don't know, against a first down run against the Jags on Sunday. But What do you feel like the status is with Levis not practicing yesterday on Tuesday, and what his status is like moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the foot and, how foot, ankle, whatever it was that he hobbled off with and was getting some attention on during the game. Um, you have to think it's probably related to that. Whether it's a Will Levis can't practice thing or the Titans are resting Will to, make sure that he is 100% or as healthy as possible heading into the game weekend. I'm not sure, but you'd have to imagine that that is the general area of his body that is banged up right now. And you kind of just wait and see. I think today's going to be really telling, Austin, because tomorrow uh, is not a practice day. Tuesday was essentially their walkthrough. So it's not a huge surprise for a guy like Will Levis, if he is dealing with some sort of injury, to not be out there for a walkthrough. There's a lot of guys not out there. But if he misses today, which was technically their Thursday practice, you now just have one Friday practice to go before the end of the week. You might have to start saying, wait a minute, is Ryan Tannehill going to play against the Carolina Panthers? I'm not sure. Today will be a big day for Will Levis, though, at St. Thomas Sports Park to get back out there and show that he's healthy.
Yeah, and look, he talked at the podium on Wednesday, which is the sign that he is still considered the Titans starting quarterback for
Correct.
Sunday. So look, he's young, he's early 20s. Sam, you heal and recover a lot faster from your softball injuries than somebody like me or anybody in the chat who's got a little bit more experience, or Ryan Tannehill. Will Levis should bounce back fine. I expect him to play on Sunday, and then we'll get a chance to see how Will Levis looks compared to another rookie quarterback in Bryce Young. It's the first time that Will Levis has been on the field next to another rookie quarterback in this draft class. He wasn't playing when the Titans faced Anthony Richardson for about a quarter and a half I guess that was in early October. And then he hasn't had a chance to play CJ Stroud yet. But if both guys stay healthy, you'll get two examples to see Levis and Stroud go head to head. But here was Will Levis when asked by Buck yesterday about comparing himself to other rookie quarterbacks in their rookie season.
Yeah, I think it's really important, especially like playing at this level, like seeing how other guys have gotten it done at this level. It's important, looking at dudes that, might have a similar skill set to you as to what you can do physically, and just it's a copycat league, just with plays, same with technique, just seeing other guys doing different things that can help your game. So that's been fun.
So Austin, do you think it's good that he's comparing himself to other rookie quarterbacks? Because he obviously thinks it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I thought this was a very surprising and very good answer from Will Levis. It's not unusual that you ask a quarterback or a player, whoever, something along these lines, and it's I'm focused on what I'm doing. I'm not really worried about other people. I'm focused on my own business, right? I don't really think about that stuff too much. I love that Will Levis is not afraid to say, yeah, I compare myself to everybody else in my draft class. One, I think there is a little bit of like, hey, keep that chip on your shoulder. Make sure you remember that you were passed over for three other quarterbacks. Make sure you remember that, 29 or I get 31 teams, whoever had, I don't know who had a chance to draft him, but that all these other teams didn't want you. Remember that. But then two, I think what he says is extremely important, that, you can form your game and improve your game based off of what you see from other quarterbacks in a similar situation to you, how you see them perform, how you see them respond to certain situations, things that you see them doing in games that you might not do. By comparing yourself to them, you can say, how do I measure up and how do I get better in this area, that area, this area? I think it's a really mature mindset for a rookie quarterback to not necessarily look at it as some competition of I have to be better than you. Am I better than you? But look at it as we're in the same boat and you can help me get better if I just take notes from watching you.
Yeah, the Panthers are also bad. How is Bryce Young handling the Panthers' awful situation with a veteran receiver in Adam Thielen, and Will Levis has a veteran receiver in DeAndre Hopkins?
Yeah, real quick. I know there's 32 teams in the NFL. I know that not every team had a pick in that first round.
Yeah,
And the
the
Titans
There were
traded up
only
with the
31. There were only 31
there are only
picks because the
31 picks,
Dolphins.
and some
Yeah,
people didn't have a pick. So
the
I'm aware
Dolphins.
that there's
Yes,
32 teams. I just want to get
but
that
the
on record.
Dolphins had their pick taken from them from
Yeah.
a punishment, and then there were a couple teams with multiple picks,
Like, I
like
don't
the
think the
Houston
Rams
Texans.
had a chance to draft Will Levis because they didn't pick in the first round, and the Titans jumped up ahead of them in the second. I just want to get that on record. I know how many
Yeah,
teams there are in the
yeah,
National
yeah, yeah.
Football League. That
Sam,
would be a bad
yeah, and you
thing
can
to not
count
know.
on me and finding you in the parking lot later, right? That's Sam can count everybody. All right,
Yes.
so let's hear this. This is probably the best video that Will Levis has had to date for him as a Titans quarterback talking to the media when he was asked about his pre-draft process and relationship with the Carolina Panthers. Here was a funny clip.
How closely did you get to know Carolina's staff in the pre-draft seconds?
Pretty close. Yeah, I mean, I had a dinner with them, and then I had a top 30 visit with them, and just had a decent connection with them. I know that they did the same process with the three or four quarterbacks or whoever they brought in, but they were very professional about all of them, and I thought that they were a well-run organization.
Is there a point where you thought you might be the pick there? Just kind of how do you think about this week?
Not really, no. I think I went out there for my top 30, and not that they said it in words, but essentially the vibe was, hey, like, thanks for coming, but and then I think it was like two days later, like, the reports come out like, Will Levis reportedly supposed to be #1 pick to Carolina. I really wanted to just stand up on top and be like, they actually told me the opposite. But no, I mean, all respect to Coach Reich and all of them. They handled that process with all the integrity and all the right ways that they should have. And looking forward to competing against them.
So good. So good. I mean, because we remember the report, Austin. Like, I remember 2 days before the draft, the chaos that ensued from a Reddit post that said, like, a friend inside Will Levis's inner circle has just told me that he's been told he's going #1. And so it's very, very funny to hear Will's side of that story. And like he said, the exact opposite, where he goes to a top 30 visit and comes away from it being like, yeah, okay, so not going to go to the Panthers. That's ruled out. Very funny story. And, I love it when a quarterback shows some personality like that. So
yeah, it like watching it back, I laughed as I was editing that clip together because of just the way that he went about it. And you saw a little bit of glimpse of like, who is Will Levis, the not quarterback, right? Because most of Will Levis's press conference to this point have been like him, like super focused eyes, like you can like hear him breathe when he's being asked the question.
That's a good point.
And I'm just like, God, he's like, there's such an intensity with how he's handling press conferences and how serious he's taking it. And now he's up there like, no, that's not what happened. Like, what are you guys doing? So a funny clip there from Levis.
I mean, he's somebody too who, I mean, he's shown flashes of this personality before on questions. And I'll just say from a media perspective, myself and the other members of Titans media have said continuously throughout the season, Will Levis is just a guy that gets it. Like, he gets how things work. He gets how to be likable. He gets how to give a good answer and make himself endearing to the media. You don't walk up to him with a question and get a one-word response. He is more than willing to discuss at length his thoughts and opinions. He knows what you're looking for. He leans into this stuff. He's a guy that gets it. And so, yeah, like, this is just another example of, how he could have answered that question with like, yeah, it was a good visit, but nah, I never really thought that was a possibility, and been boring and gone through the motions and spoke to the media. But he gets it. And he knows that, hey, let's have some fun. Let's show a little bit of personality. All it's going to do is make people like you more and root for you more. Yeah. It really can't hurt him. And so, yeah, kudos to Will Levis. And, certainly has made my job easier since, he's taken over as the starting quarterback, as a guy who just knows what to do in front of a camera.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's ask this question, Sam. Will Levis has a chance to outshine and outperform the number 1 overall pick in Bryce Young on the same field, especially after the story that he just told us. So Will Levis has a chance to outperform Bryce Young on the same field. Is this a big deal, small deal, or a no deal? Big deal, small deal, or no deal that Will Levis has this opportunity in his rookie season to show up the number 1 overall pick when he was the 33rd overall pick. So we'll get to your answers on that. Big deal, small deal, or no deal. But first, hey, shout out Fox's Donut Den this holiday season. You should make Fox's Donut Den a part of your holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow and you need to, oh crap, I'm supposed to bring something. Fox's Donut Den right there in Green Hills is conveniently located right next to Hillsborough High School. And the best thing about this time of year with Fox's Donut Den is you can go by there literally next door to Hillsborough High School. They're not in school. There's a lot less traffic right now, so you can go get them donuts and them fresh baked goods from Fox's. They've got, along with all the donuts they have, muffins, other pastries. They're absolutely delicious. They're made fresh every day. I have been in the kitchen with our guy Norman, and he has given me a fresh donut directly out of the glaze, like as fresh as it can be. Like you lift it out of the fryer, you put it down, you throw the glaze on it. He says, give it 20 seconds, and it's unbelievable. So Fox's Donut Den is where to go. Make them a part of your holiday season. Most friendly, personable folks, as I just mentioned. And they also have great merch like t-shirts, keychains, postcards, and towels. So check them out and get a gift card for that holiday season as well at Fox's Donut Den in Green Hills.
Hey, I'm going to double down real quick because Austin, as somebody, you understand this with correct me if I get it wrong. Are you a vegan or a vegetarian, or what is your vegetarian, right? So you're all about eating healthy. You have a very healthy diet. Sometimes I try and do the same thing for myself. Sometimes I go and work out. Fox's Donut Den is in between my apartment and my gym. All right. And so I come home from the gym sometimes and I see that little guy with his little, whatever bow tie thing he's got going on. And I'm go, ooh, Fox's Donut Den. And I pull in, and most of the time, sometimes when I eat something unhealthy, I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. I have never once regretted going to Fox's Donut Den and getting donuts. I never a single time have I come away from Donut Den and been like, wish I didn't do that. It hits the spot every single time. I just want to double down and give some personal endorsement because I'm a frequent customer of Fox's Donut Den, and I just want to, get that out there. I'm also a frequent customer of BetMGM because I am on BetMGM each and every week. BetMGM is the king of sports books, and you can use the bonus code ATOZ Sports to get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Use that bonus code when you sign up, and whatever that first deposit is can go back into your account in the form of a bonus bet with a second chance to win big. So whether it's NFL, college football, college basketball, or any sport this holiday season, make sure you're placing your bets with BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks.
All right, so going to get to your answers about Will Levis having an opportunity to outperform Bryce Young on the same field. Let's go ahead and play, before we get to the answers, play the Will Levis Panthers pre-draft process story from the Titans rookie quarterback yesterday.
How closely did you get to know Carolina's staff in the pre-draft back in the spring?
Pretty close. Yeah, I mean, I had a dinner with them, and then I had a top 30 visit with them, and just had a decent connection with them. I know that they did the same process with the 3 or 4 quarterbacks or whoever they brought in, but they were very professional about all of them. And I thought that they were a well-run organization.
Is there a point where you thought you might be the pick there? Just kind of how did you think about those meetings?
Not really, no. I think I went out there for my top 30, and not that they said it in words, but essentially the vibe was, hey, like, thanks for coming, but and then I think it was like two days later, like the reports come out like Will Levis reportedly supposed to be number 1 pick to Carolina. I really wanted to just stand up on top and be like, they actually told me the opposite. But no, I mean, all respect to Coach Reich and all of them. They handled that process with all the integrity and all the right ways that they should have. And looking forward to competing against them.
All right, so to the chat you go, man. Sam. Big deal, small deal, or no deal that Will Levis has a chance to outperform number 1 overall pick by the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, on the same field Sunday at Nissan Stadium? What are the people saying here?
Curtis says no deal, says it means nothing. Donnie says big deal. Darren says no deal, a no deal from the other Darren. We have a big deal from Colby, a small deal from Jaron, a big deal from Guy, small deal from Billy, big deal, says Deborah. No deal, says Jody. No deal, says Jonathan. Huge deal, says Johnny. We have a no deal from Dre, a big deal from Jay. No deal, says Luman. No deal, says Titans Kyle. Big deal, says Paul. Scott says it's a small deal. Jonathan says it's a no deal. So does Andre. Tighten up, comes in small deal. Big deal from Linwood. Small deal from Devin. Small deal from Tiffany. Says the O-line won't let anything great happen. So just a small deal. No deal from Clayton. Big deal from Chris. Small deal from King JP. Good variety in the answers here, Austin. So
Yeah.
some small deal, some big deal, some no deal. And I do think it's important to qualify this question a little bit and say, Tiffany might be right. Like, the offensive line might not allow Will Levis to do anything. But I think you're asking, is it a big deal if Will Levis comes out and just outplays Bryce Young? Like, what is that, a big deal, a small deal, or a no deal? It's not about what will the Titans offense allow Will Levis to do. It's the opportunity to put on a show and look better than the number 1 overall pick, and whether that's a big deal, small deal, or no deal for Will Levis and for the Titans. Austin, I'm curious where you fall with this one.
I think it's a big deal because Bryce Young was the best quarterback prospect in the draft, right? Like, there really wasn't much of, is it Stroud or Bryce Young? It was Bryce Young, who's number 2. And then it was like, okay, is it Stroud, Richardson? Where's Levis fall into this? And so I think it's a big deal because not only does it show the NFL and continue to show the NFL that the Carolina Panthers gave up DJ Moore and a bunch of other draft picks, the Chicago Bears.
Which one of them is probably going to be number 1 overall.
Right.
Like, you probably gave up DJ Moore, the 9th pick, this year's first round pick, which is going to be number 1 overall, all for Bryce Young. You put all your eggs in that basket here.
Yes. And by the way, when you're talking about tanking, the Carolina Panthers are trying to win. Yeah. They are not tanking. They do not have that first round pick. There is nothing to tank for. They are trying to win, and it is this bad. Is it all Bryce Young's fault? No, absolutely not. But is Bryce Young having a rough year? Yeah. He started all the games. I guess Andy Dalton started one in Seattle.
And that
earlier.
was like the game they looked their best offensively. Yeah. Was the one game Andy Dalton started.
But he's only got 9 touchdowns to 8 interceptions in 9 games played. It's 1,600 yards, so he's under 200 yards per game passing. He's got a QBR of 29.9, and he's been sacked 36 times. That's even 4 times per game. And he's also, he's listed at 5'10", 194. Is he 5'10", Sam? I don't think you believe he's 5'10". I think you think he's too small. So
too small.
You think he's too small. So I think it's a big deal for Will Levis, who I think Will Levis by far had the most haters throughout the draft process of these quarterbacks. Do you agree?
Yeah, I would
the
say
most
so,
haters.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, he's certainly the most polarizing prospect of the 4. I mean, Anthony Richardson had some doubters. There's people like myself who were saying, hey, that Bryce Young guy, that dude is not real. He is too small. That was, there was a couple people like me that were saying that about Bryce Young, but for the most part, yeah, Will Levis had the most haters for sure.
So it's a big deal for me for Will Levis to do this. And now Will Levis can take the Carolina Panthers words or, thanks for coming to the visit, and then shove it right back in their face after beating the Panthers, putting up multiple touchdowns, big plays through the air, maybe using his legs some, and say, hey, Panthers, thanks for coming to Nashville. Hope you enjoy Broadway. And then get back out to Carolina and go back to Charlotte with your miniature quarterback who looks like the video game, weird glitch where the players is tiny, right? So that's what Will Levis has an opportunity to do, is he has a chance to say, hey, thanks, but no thanks. I'm here in Nashville where this organization has got a better ceiling than what the Carolina Panthers have.
Yeah, so it certainly doesn't mean nothing. And chat, for those of you that are saying it means nothing, I don't like to bring my personal fandom into this stuff all the time, but I can tell you, as somebody who went through the Mitchell Trubisky saga in Chicago during the same draft that Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes got drafted, that if you draft a quarterback and your quarterback is grouped in with these names and your guy is the one that is not as good or is significantly worse than the rest of them, you will never hear the end of it. And for Titans fans, it will constantly be well, why didn't you trade up to go get CJ Stroud? Why didn't you trade up to go get Bryce Young? You could have gone and gotten these guys. You settled for Will Levis. Those narratives do not stop. And whether you care about it or don't care about it, conversations about the draft class will always be a thing. Right now, if I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, I am dreading each and every day that I have to watch CJ Stroud play quarterback for the Houston Texans, knowing that your head coach, Frank Reich, wanted CJ Stroud, was not allowed to pick CJ Stroud, was forced to take Bryce Young, and now you're looking a lot worse because you have Bryce Young and not CJ Stroud. So It does matter. What a quarterback does against the rest of their draft class does matter. Comparing quarterbacks to the rest of their draft class does happen. Here's the reason why it's not a big deal, Austin.
Okay.
And why it's a small deal. Because Will Levis is already above Bryce Young. Will Levis is already here in his performance and his play, and Bryce Young is at the bottom of the totem pole. If you were making a totem pole of the 4 rookie quarterbacks, CJ Stroud is the king, Will Levis is probably number 2, Anthony Richardson is probably number 3 with the injuries. Bryce Young is the one I'm concerned about. I think he is the guy that needs to make a statement more than Will Levis needs to make a statement at this point. So, I mean, if Levis came out and looked better than Bryce Young and won a game against the Carolina Panthers, I'd be like, yeah, it's what he's supposed to do. He's been the better player so far. So if this was a guy who I feel like had a ton to prove, I will say, big deal when Will Levis plays CJ Stroud. If Will Levis plays CJ Stroud and outplays a guy like CJ Stroud and wins a football game, that's a huge deal. It's a huge deal for the Titans' future. Bryce Young, he's already low man on the totem pole here. I'd say Levis is on top of him on the pecking order.
Real quick, do you know much about totem poles?
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
The most prestigious figure on the totem pole is actually on the bottom. It goes bottom to top on the totem
figure
pole.
of speech, guys. Come on.
Well, you got to get your figure of speech correct there. It's something that
nobody ever says he's the high man on the totem pole.
Yeah, I know. That's been
well,
it's the funny thing about
okay.
Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah, it's just it's one of those things that people don't think about, but it is kind of funny that the totem pole,
I respect
bottom's
it
the best.
There is a lot of popular phrases in society that people say that just drive me absolutely nuts because they don't make sense. And so all right, I will use that one now. Like, have you ever had somebody say, yeah, I could care less?
Yes. Oh, you could? Oh, cool. Sweet. Yeah, right.
Like, if you look at me and say I could care less, I'm going to pull my hair out. I'm like, that is not the saying. That makes no sense when you say it that way. So, yeah. But
it
hey,
is better to be low on the totem pole rather than be high on the totem pole, because we are down here. The totem pole goes up there. Nobody cares about what's up there. It's right here, eye level. Anyway, all right. So let's kind of flip over to this, Sam. Let's grade these or rank these quarterbacks. You know, Levis says we can compare them. He's comparing himself to them, watching them go through some of the same things. So you already mentioned that you think Bryce Young is below Will Levis. I'm curious what the chat thinks. Who do you guys think? If CJ Stroud's number 1, who's the second most impressive rookie quarterback so far this season, with Anthony Richardson not being really applicable to this conversation? So we'll get to that. But first, Sam, tell everybody about the Bone and Joint Institute.
The Bone and Joint Institute. It sounds like our guy Will Levis might need to make a trip to the Bone and Joint Institute and make sure he's able to play in this game against the Carolina Panthers. You don't want to fumble on your recovery, and you won't when you go and trust the Bone and Joint Institute, located out in Franklin, with a state-of-the-art rehab facility to assist in your recovery, and everything all under one roof at one campus, so you don't have to drive all around Middle Tennessee going to your different appointments, whether it's clinic, rehab, image, surgery, testing. It's all in one spot out in Franklin. You can schedule an appointment with them at boneandjointtn.org for good and reliable care from great, kind, knowledgeable doctors, the absolute best in the business at the Bone and Joint Institute. Schedule an appointment at boneandjointtn.org.
And with the BetMGM app, you can win big this Thanksgiving holiday weekend. I'm sure they're going to have features on features that come out and land in your app tomorrow morning and throughout this weekend, a big weekend in pro and college football. And you can always win big with our first bet offer with our bonus code ATOZ Sports. So when you download and sign up with the BetMGM app, plug in that bonus code ATOZ Sports. That means you get a first bet offer to go big because you get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. Visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions subject to qualifications and eligibility requirements. First online rule money wager only. Rewards issued at knowledgeable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. And for problem games work, call Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789. So Sam, I'll let you go to the chat. Bryce Young or Will Levis, who has been more impressive and who is showing the best long-term view of a quarterback success as a rookie? I'll let you go to the chat first here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We also need more likes on the show. So more likes, Facebook, YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for us. So Sam, what's the chat saying here?
Michael Kennedy's with me, says Levis is second in the pecking order. Devin says it's Stroud than everybody else, which I would agree with for sure.
Yes.
Scott says Levis is number 2. Joey says Levis over Young. DeMarco's with me as well. Jaron says it's Levis, then Anthony Richardson. Pistol Ramsey's there too. Says Levis, then Richardson, then Young. Then we got Levis number 2. Levis is second. Stroud, Levis, Richardson with Young 4. Stroud, Levis, Richardson with Young 4 from Darren. Levis is number 2 from Michael. Eric throws out DTR, which I don't know where he ranks among these people. He's probably 5 for me. DTR has not been very good. So he's in a good situation in Cleveland too.
Yeah. He's got a beast of.
He hasn't even thrown a touchdown pass. So start bringing Tommy DeVito into the conversation. What Matt's talking about here.
And your guy from the Bears, right? Your D2 boy.
Yeah, Tyson Bagent or Illinois legend Tommy DeVito. That was my college QB. Nate says it is Levis 1, Stroud 2, Young 3, Richardson 4. Hard disagree.
No,
Nate, you cannot have CJ Stroud anywhere but number 1. Stroud.
CJ Stroud is legitimately an MVP candidate.
He's legitimately a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And if the Texans make the playoffs, I think should win MVP. I mean, there's nobody else, right? Like the odds-on betting favorite right now is for Jalen Hurts, who has not been MVP caliber, in my opinion. I mean, he's thrown 9 interceptions and struggled. Yeah, I guess his numbers are padded by the tush push and all the rushing touchdowns. But, I mean, CJ Stroud is that guy who has taken an entire offense, put them on his back, and could potentially be carrying them to a double-digit win season. That's an MVP candidate, special type of rookie season. So,
yes.
AJ Brown not going to win MVP as Devin throws that out there. He's not going to win MVP.
And he just says everyone needs to keep in mind that Bryce Young has more wins in Tennessee than Willis does. It wouldn't surprise me if the Panthers put up a fight. I don't understand what that means. I'm confused. And it's a super chat, so I have to read it.
I don't know what Malik Willis has to do with anything, but amnesia, I suppose, is throwing out the idea that, Bryce Young has won his fair share of games in Tennessee at UT. And I guess just crediting him as being
Bryce Young has not won a game.
You would know that better than me. I don't.
He lost. He was a 2-year starter. He lost his game
at Neyland. His senior year, he lost it, or his last year, he lost at Neyland.
Yeah. I'm confused, amnesia. Maybe you've got the amnesia. I don't understand.
I mean, I do think there is something to this, which is that the Panthers could put up a fight because he is,
Well, yeah, that's the only
Bryce Young. Go
but the
ahead.
Panthers are terrible. Like the Panthers have one win.
Yeah, they're 1-9. I mean, Bryce Young has had a lot of success throwing to Adam Thielen against this secondary. That's probably something that is going to get exploited and continue to be something he goes to. They could put up some points. Hey, this team, the Titans, are not a good football team. Like, this could be a very, very tight game here. The Titans might lose this game. I don't think it's a given that they're going to beat the Panthers this week. I mean, they are not a good football team right now. So I do think there's something to that. But yeah, I mean, Bryce Young, just factually incorrect there. Did he beat Vandy? That's what
I was going to look up. Because they don't play Vandy that often. So I'm going to have to go to
I don't remember
the old game logs.
I do not remember Alabama versus Vandy as being something that has happened. So
it's happened a few times and they've been absolutely disgusting. Let's see here. Come on, Pro Football Reference, Sports Reference. Give me the game logs real quick. Come on now. Why are you being difficult?
Did they play it? Oh, they played MTSU, Matt says.
But not at MTSU. Like, come on. He didn't play at
also
MTSU.
True.
They beat Vanderbilt at home in 2022. So he would have not played at Vanderbilt. He would have not played at any other university in the state of Tennessee. So again, amnesia lost. Going right there.
2020, he technically got a win at Tennessee and went 3 for 5 passing during the game.
But he wasn't the starter. Like, ridiculous. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah, no, I don't see a win on here. So inaccurate factual comment there from Amnesia, but
right. And I don't know what Malik has anything to do with it, but good for that. All right. So I do think at this point, when you look at Bryce Young, he's in a bad situation. Like, the Panthers are absolutely abysmal. The Titans have become abysmal after the collapse of the season. And the 8 interceptions for Bryce Young are just really bad decisions and examples of his flaws. Will Levis is 2 interceptions. He could have thrown more. Some were dropped. DeAndre Hopkins has a couple pass breakups in there to save him. But Will Levis is 2 interceptions that were actually in the stat book. One of them was you got to have a touchdown on the last play of the game from the 20-yard line. You're going to throw a pick there. And the other one, he gets hit as he throws. It basically gets punted up in the air, and Winfield gets to catch that punt and for a pick, right? So Bryce Young has issues as a quarterback with his height that he's not going to be able to just fix from training. And, he's always going to have that holding him back.
He's too small. He is too small.
I was having a conversation with somebody this week, and I'm going to talk about this on the pregame show potentially, that Bryce Young stands on his toes in the pocket so he can see better. And so when you stand on your toes in the pocket, you don't throw from your toes. You need every part of that back foot to press off. So if you're throwing from your toes, you have to reset your feet before you release the football, which takes time. Off your toes, reset, throw. And so the time of, I see that, now I reset, now I throw, it's late. He doesn't have a cannon of an arm. His arm's fine. But that's led to a couple pick sixes against the Colts. And so there's at least 2 of his 8 interceptions that I know of that. So,
Bryce Young has a really good brain for the game, I think. I think he's able to diagnose very easily where to go with the football. And it's something that makes him a threat at all times. But I do think, I think there's physical things that hold him back. Number 1 being he doesn't have exceptional arm strength. Number 2 being he doesn't have the size and he can't always see the field. And so while he might be able to identify where to go with the football, if you're not seeing it in real time, that's a problem. And one of my biggest problems with him coming out of college at Alabama was you saw him at Alabama regularly at his best as an improviser, as somebody who escaped pressure, could make something happen with his legs, extend a play, and then again, properly able to identify where to go with the football and throw an accurate ball on the move.
Yeah.
That's what Bryce Young does best. What he's kind of learning in the NFL is that these guys are bigger, they're faster. It's a lot harder to get away from this pressure. DBs run a little bit quicker and catch up to those receivers and cut off routes a little bit faster. So all of these physical things that are holding him back now being paired with the uptick in physical ability of opponents has been a bit overwhelming for him so far. And I'd be concerned if I was a Panthers fan, especially when you start hearing the rumors about who your head coach identified as his guy and who your quarterback coach identified as his guy, and how Josh McCown was all schmoozy with CJ Stroud after his visit, saying, "Hey, when you get down here to Charlotte, we'll hang out a little bit." It's why owners shouldn't get involved in football decisions.
Yeah, Danny says, do they make platform cleats? I mean, if Prince can play basketball in platform shoes, then why not Bryce Young playing quarterback in platform cleats? I'm not exactly sure, but there's got to be some type of NFL rule about equipment and how tall your shoes can be. But that just sounds like a bunch of busted ankles. All right, so Sam, it's been a long time since the Titans have been home. I'm curious about this next question to see how Titans fans respond to the 3 losses on the road in a row. But first, I'm going to tell everybody about our great partners and friends with Krebs Kubota. They are Middle Tennessee's preferred equipment dealer, and they can help you out and get the right equipment for the job that you've got on your property, at your home, big or small. Krebs Kubota is an elite Kubota dealer with 3 great locations: Murfreesboro, Columbia, and in Franklin. What does an elite Kubota dealer mean? It means they have the best equipment because they have the direct line to the Kubota brand. They also have the best warranties with what the Kubota equipment comes with, and the best customer service because Krebs is a family-owned and operated company for over 18 years. They've done so well. They started in Columbia. They grew because of their great service and their great way. They help you do what you need to do around your property. And now they've added Murfreesboro and Franklin over the years. So check them out online, KrebsKubota.com.
Today's show is powered by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. If you've got a pick for this Titans game this Sunday against Carolina, make sure you're placing your bet with the king of sportsbooks, BetMGM, and using the bonus code ATOZ Sports when you first sign up to get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. You place that first wager on whatever that wager amount is and deposit is. That money can go back into your account in the form of a bonus bet if your first bet loses, and you can get a second chance to win big. That's the best way to do sports betting, is with the king of sportsbooks. So sign up with our bonus code ATOZ Sports on BetMGM and BetMGM.com.
All right, so I'm going to ask this question. What percentage capacity will Nissan Stadium be at for Titans Panthers? What percentage capacity will Nissan Stadium be at for Titans Panthers? It's been 3 long weeks. Let's hear Will Levis when asked about being back in Nissan Stadium.
How much are you looking forward to playing at home? It's been a while for you guys.
Oh, it's great. I mean, we undefeated at home, so I mean we got to keep it rolling, you know. So I mean it's going to be awesome to have the fans back there, and to get back at home. It's been what 5-6 weeks since we've been there, so it's going to be great. It feels better at home for sure.
I mean, he's not wrong. They're undefeated at home.
But he is wrong. It has not been 5 or 6 weeks since they've been there. It's been 3. But that tells you exactly.
Well, it's been 1 game in like the last 8 weeks or something like that.
Yes,
so,
but like I took Will Levis's answer of, yeah, it's been a long 3 weeks and it's felt like 5 or 6, right? Because it's the quick turnaround against Pittsburgh. Then you have the 10-day break. Then you go to Tampa, back to Florida and Jacksonville. Been a long 27 days between home games that feels like 5 or 6 weeks because you're 0-3 during those 3 games.
Hey, maybe this is why, Austin, I keep doing our pregame and postgame shows and predicting like the Titans to do better than they actually do, and why I had them winning games, because I go to the home games and I keep watching a good team. I'm like, oh, every time I go, they win. And then I sit at home here and they lose every single time I'm watching on television. I don't remember the last time I watched a game on TV and actually saw the Titans win the game.
I know.
Green Bay, but
yeah.
But I mean, like, I don't remember it very well, like at all. I do remember watching Richard Sherman pop off about AJ Brown or something like I don't know, but that feels like forever ago. It's every single time I watch a game on television, they lose. And so yeah, it does feel like a long time, and it's weird to think that we still have 5 home games left this season at Nissan Stadium. That just sounds insane. Like that doesn't sound real.
Yeah, and Esko says, "Sam, go to the game." Sheesh. Yeah, yep, you'll be there. You'll
I
be
will
at
be
this
there.
one.
Well, I will be at the Indy one the week after at home. So we got potential, back-to-back wins coming
Hey,
down. You
5
never
and
know.
7, 5 and 7
Oh
ain't that
gosh,
bad, right?
it's bad, but I guess it's
Like
not that bad, but it's
5 and
bad.
7, you're not that far away. Yeah. All right, so let's
That's a
go.
conversation we'll have to have when you're 5
No,
and
I know. I'm
7.
mostly joking. So, what percentage capacity will Nissan Stadium be at on Sunday? Because it was rocking. Somebody said it was rocking the last home game against the Falcons, and that is correct because they had the Oilers
It will.
jerseys.
Here's
They
a
had,
hot take.
yeah,
It will not be rocking on Sunday.
right.
That
So
I'm
they
just
had
gonna go out on a limb and say that. So
Oilers jerseys, all of the homecoming players back from the Oilers / Titans from eras past. Will Levis making his first start against Arthur Smith. And it was great, right? Halloween weekend, people were juiced. This has everything against that atmosphere. There's no juice. Thanksgiving weekend, people, what's the drug that turkey has that makes you sleepy? What's that called again?
I have no idea.
Everybody's it makes you sleepy, which is why you take a big fat nap on Thanksgiving. And so obviously people still have that rolling because they had their Sammys the next day from the leftovers. And then Sunday, they're like, oh, it's noon. I don't want to go. I'll just sit here and watch it because I've got more leftovers in the fridge. We've got leftover booze in the fridge from all the family stuff. And then you've got cold. Yeah, that. Thank you. So I'm not going to try to
There's
say
a lot
it,
of
but
the chat was all over it. Hey, good job,
they
chat.
knew
This is
it.
a good warm up for trivia later.
Yeah, they've been,
Here we go.
yeah, right. So you got all that. You got everything working against you on top of 3 straight losses where it seems like they're losing by more and more points over these 3 weeks, right? It was just, 6 points against the Steelers, 14 against the Bucks, 20 against the Jags. And it didn't even feel like 20 against the Jags. So what percentage capacity will this stadium be at? There's a lot of low numbers saying. I don't think it's going to be low as some of these are saying, but
Well, it's the
let's go to
National
the chat.
Football League, so I mean there is a kind of a floor of what an NFL game is gonna draw. But yeah, let's see the chat coming in with 45, 40, 20, 55, 25, 60, 60, 85, 75, 68, 80, 60, 70, 80, 63, 90, 50, 75, 49, 66, 80, 50, 68, 33, 63, 80, 30, 70. I kept up with 70 was my number that I like popped into my
70?
head. 70%. I think that upper deck is going to be it's going to be cold too, man. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a boring, like nobody from Carolina is coming to Nashville to go watch the 1-9 Panthers play. You're not pulling a big road audience like you have in some of these games. It's not a division rivalry game. Buy-ins at an all-time low. This is going to be, plus I don't know what tickets are like. I mean, I'm sure the Titans, here, let's play a game, Austin. I'm going to go on the Game Time app here, and you let me know what you think I could get in the door for Titans Panthers.
Like resale?
Yeah, it's resale. If I wanted one ticket to get in the
I'm
door,
going to say like $25.
all right, well, hang on. I might actually have to do 2 tickets because sometimes it's more expensive to do 1 ticket.
And Nick says, with fees or without fees? There's all these important questions.
Before fees, the cheapest ticket in the stadium. What do you think?
I said 25.
I see a $28 ticket. $28 ticket in the 300.
It's pretty good. Price is right.
Pretty good for a National Football League game. And it's probably going to keep going down when, if you buy tickets at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning, you're probably getting in for $10. So maybe that'll bring
free. or free. Like, this is a game. Here's what this is. This is a game where season ticket holders are like, hey, so-and-so's kid's in from college for Thanksgiving weekend. Let's just give it to him, right?
Yes.
Let's just give it to him and his buddies. They can go. They'll get drunk. They don't care. They're going to pregame and tailgate. They'll be loud and they'll pass out at halftime. Right?
Yes.
Like, that's exactly what this is. That's what this game represents.
This is your kid has never been to a Titans game before. Do you want to bring your kid for an early Christmas thing? We'll give you a couple tickets. Yeah, that's exactly what this is.
Yeah. Okay. So you said 70% capacity, like full, like butts in seats. I think 70% is way too high.
That might be high. Honestly,
I was going to go 60. I was going to go 60.
I think you'll have a good majority of the lower bowl full with butts and seats because it's the lower bowl and it's a National Football League game. That upper deck is going to be tough. Although I will say the games on Fox, you're going to see the Fox broadcast open where they kind of like swoosh in with a sky cam showing like the field and like the club level. It's going to be speckled. It's going to be speckled people in there. It's going to be gross. 60% capacity, butts and seats is what I say. Not good. Hey, it's not going to be good either way. But, Titans fans have proven me wrong before, Austin. They had that one below freezing game last year that was like all-time low temperatures in the Nashville area. And like water was frozen at most people's houses and people still kind of turned out for that game. It was like against the Houston Texans with the Titans having lost 5 in a row and people still showed up.
Yeah, because they didn't have power at home or water at home.
Yeah,
so they had to go do something.
Watch it at home, so they all had to go to the stadium.
And there's also something about like this game's going to be record-setting cold. Let's do it, right? Like, screw it. Let's go feel it, right? How cold is it?
The one that's just cold but doesn't like move the needle as cold, and you're just like, yeah, it's just going to be miserable cold. That one's not quite as fun.
Yeah, no, but like Sunday, I'm pulling up the weather. Sunday, it's got rain in the forecast, a high of 55 and a low of 32. Nope. Nobody's doing that. Like, you just had 3 full days of Thanksgiving and college football rivalry weekend, and you look and say, it might rain. Let's just stay home.
Should I go to the cold game in the rain to watch the 3-7 Titans, or I could keep it on the couch, eat some Thanksgiving leftovers, and put Red Zone on? I'm gonna watch Red Zone and eat my turkey sandwiches. So
yep, it is there will be a lot. There will be thousands of people that will have game time decisions on whether they're going to make the trip to downtown or not. And the rain will be the deciding factor. I guarantee that. That makes me feel confident.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there. So
yeah,
I'll be
you will be there.
And
you will.
There we go.
All right, we got trivia coming up. We need better than 60% or 70% in trivia, so we'll get the trivia in a second. But first, Farm Bureau Health Plans, they can help you regardless of your situation, rain or shine. Farm Bureau Health Plans is out there to help Tennesseans get better coverage for your health plan and not spend the same type of dollar. Zach saved 20% on his health coverage and has gotten better health coverage with dental and vision on top of this, the regular health. Whatever your situation might be, maybe you're out there on your own, independent contractor, entrepreneur, single, don't have anything through your spouse. Maybe you're a growing family and you're trying to make sure you've got the right coverage for that rapidly growing family. Or maybe the family's out of the house. It's just you and your spouse, empty nesters, and you want to have the next level of coverage. That's where Farm Bureau Health Plans comes into play as well at fbhp.com/ATOZ.
Today's show powered by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up with BetMGM. Get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. That's a second chance to win big when you sign up and use the bonus code ATOZ Sports. Whatever that deposit is can go back into your account in the form of a bonus bet if that first bet loses. So that's the best way to do sports betting. When you get 2 chances, that's double the chances to win big with the king of sportsbooks. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports at BetMGM and BetMGM.com.
At Wilson County Hyundai, it's a great time to buy a car. It really is. WilsonCountyHyundai.com can take care of you. See our friend Painbone and his team in Lebanon or online at WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Sam, you ready for trivia?
Let's do it.
All right. It is time for our trivia grid to wrap up this Wednesday and to wrap up this week. So let's get it going. Again, no Googling here. We want to try to get this as efficiently as possible. So let's start, Sam. I'll pick the first category and then the chat can pick the second. So chat, if you've got an opinion on the category to go to, we typically save the NFL for last. I'm going to start with television.
All right, television, let's see it. Since 2014, this Bravo reality series has followed the personal and professional lives of several socialites who reside in Charleston, South Carolina. I do believe
I have no
know
idea.
this one.
But
My
I
reality-
love Charleston. Oh, wait. I do know this.
This is my reality TV brain that I believe I know this one.
I think I've seen this on like a preview on Peacock. But I didn't know if it's broad. Is it Below Deck?
No, it is not Below Deck.
What
That
is
is a
that?
Bravo series, though.
Okay.
Below Deck is on like a ship. But
yeah, it's like a cruise, and they have those in Charleston, which is why I said that.
Yeah, no, that is a Bravo series, though.
Okay.
It is similar, and chat is on it with
really?
Stephen King, Jared Morris, Paulie Andre. Southern Charm is
Andre said sounds like trash.
I didn't. I saw the S and I got confused. So my bad. Southern Charm, didn't mean to put you on blast. Andre's comment there. Southern Charm, or is it Southern Hospitality? No,
everybody
Southern
said
Charm.
Southern.
Yeah, I think it's Southern Charm. There it is. Boom. Okay.
All right. Next category. Danny jumped in here and said music. So let's go to music next for the next category. Music
featuring Lil Jon, the East Side Boys. This rap duo released the 2003 party single Salt Shaker, and conversely were featured on Lil Jon's Get Low. Oh. Do you know this, Austin? I feel like this is up your alley.
Yes.
This is
you don't know it?
No, it's Yin Yang.
The Yin Yang twins.
Yin Yang or Yin Yang?
The Yin Yang twins.
Yin Yang.
Yin and Yang.
All right, there it is.
Yin
Boom.
Yang twins.
All right, that's
Boom,
not my
baby.
type of music. But hey,
you can go the whisper song if you feel like
I'll take that.
You
as
might
a
need
win
a shower afterwards, but Tiffany says, I got one.
Yeah, there we go.
Yin Yang twins, baby. All right. So let's go to chain restaurants next.
Eating good in the neighborhood is a slogan used by what sit-down chain? Eating good in the neighborhood.
I feel like
I think. Okay,
Applebee's, right?
Chat's all over Applebee's.
I feel like Applebee's
has
changed their. I didn't think Applebee's was still rolling with that.
I guess it's everybody in chat saying Applebee's.
Yeah,
I didn't really know Applebee's had I don't know them as having a slogan. But I figure that makes sense. I mean, I feel like I know all the other ones. Red Robin, Olive Garden, Chili's. I know all those slogans. So, all right, where are we going next?
Let's go finish a tic-tac-toe and hit up the NBA.
Yeah, man, we don't have no baseball today, man. This is crazy. That's annoying.
It's not baseball.
Playing from 90 to 07, what Hall of Fame point guard was known as the glove? That is an easy one. That is a slow pitch softball right there. Wait for chat to get their answers in. See who in chat can get it first. We don't have an answer yet.
Come on, update chat. Did something pause?
And there they all come. All right, first up, I believe it was Jay with the right answer first. Gary Payton, the glove, and not to be confused with Gary Payton the second, currently in the NBA. All right, where are we going next?
I think we should go diagonal and hit up celebrity mashup right here.
All right, let's see it. Here's the mashup. Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
Well, I know the inside.
I think this is the scariest one we've had yet. This is the scariest looking one we've had yet.
The inside is Demi Lovato.
Sure. I have no idea. The outside, I can see it. Yep. Tiffany's on Demi Lovato.
The inside is Martin Sheen, and the inside is absolutely Demi Lovato.
You think Martin Sheen?
Well, that's chat's all over Martin Sheen.
They're all over.
And I'm 100% sure that the inside is Demi Lovato.
Okay.
All right. Let's go with that.
That's fine. God, it's terrifying.
Boom.
Okay.
Let's go. Hey, that's quick, easy work there. That's quick, easy work. We've been taking a while on some of those mashups. That's an easy one. Retail and shopping. One of the largest private companies in America, the supermarket chain known as HEB, primarily serves what U.S. state? I think I know. I'll give chat a chance to answer here. I think I know it, though.
No clue. I have no idea. Hayden says Texas.
Yes,
Elizabeth,
that was my
David, Texas.
Yep. Texas was my instinct too. Hayden, Corey, Elizabeth, all on it here. A lot of people all over Texas. So HEB serves Texas. College football next up. Mitch Trubisky spent a single season as the full-time starting QB at what ACC school before getting drafted number 2 by the Bears.
You can't get away from it. You can't get away from it, can you?
I can't. It's my guy though, Mitchy Mitch. That is a North Carolina Tar Heel.
Yeah.
Which is giving Bears fans everywhere current, horror scenes when they think about potentially drafting Drake May. That they're like, oh, last time that didn't really work out. So, movies. After losing his job at home, Owen Wilson overstays his welcome while living with the newlywed Matt Dillon and Kate Hudson in this 2006 comedy.
Oh gosh.
I don't know this one. I'm not.
I've watched it. I've watched it. It's been a long time, probably since about 2006 since I've seen it. Oh man,
I don't know this off the top of my head. I'm not a big comedy movie fan in general.
You like the rom-coms. Me, You, and Dupree. That's it. You, Me, and Dupree.
Yeah, it is not Drill But Taylor. I have seen Drill But Taylor, and that is a funny movie. Me, You, and Dupree is what
Me, and Dupree. It's You, Me, and Dupree.
Well, shout out to David for the assist there.
Yeah. And Deborah got it right. Danny got it right. Carpet, Jonathan. Yeah.
All right. There we go. NFL. Oh, boy. Does anybody know this one? Who did tight end Frank Wycheck tally almost 5,000 receiving yards and 3 Pro Bowls for in the AFC from 95 to 03? Does anybody know this one?
This is hilarious. Like the Titans pop up in this thing a lot because I feel like whoever's making this feels like nobody knows stuff about the Titans.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, let's go. We need something obscure. Let's go Titans. Let's do Titans again.
This is probably a great question for NFL fans around the country that are not Titans fans, that they see this and they go, famous playoff moment, Frank Wycheck, a famous playoff moment, and they're very confused. But
I'll ask you, Sam, after you type in Titans. Go ahead and type in Titans.
So there we go. Perfect score,
perfect.
Guys.
I'll ask you, Sam, what franchise did Frank Wycheck start his NFL career with?
No idea. Zero clue.
I'll let the chat. Do you know where he went? Do you know where he went to people?
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you know where he went to college?
No. Probably Tennessee. I don't know. If you're asking me, it's probably Tennessee. I don't know. I have to explain this to people all the time, and it's funny. I have good questions with my guy good conversations with my guy Teron Davenport during Titans practices all the time. I find the NFL world so fascinating because I was a late bloomer to football in general. Like, not only am I'm a young person, but I'm also a late football fan. Like, I didn't really watch football at all prior to like 2011. Like it was like my first time actually watching NFL. So I know a couple things about like, oh, this happened in the 2000s, this happened in the 90s, but I didn't watch football at all back then. Yeah, 2011 is like my first time. It was like when I was actually watching the NFL for the first time. And I think 2015 is when I started watching college football for the first time. I still don't watch college football. I was talking about it the other day. I haven't watched a game of LSU football ever in my life. Like,
Oh, what?
yeah,
Man.
I'm just,
Well,
you know,
you and Buck,
I-
you kind of have that in common.
yeah, I wasn't a big, I was a baseball guy. So I've obviously, I dive headfirst into everything now. And, I'm very well informed about the league as a whole and how the league has been really for the last decade. But if you ask me stuff about the 90s or early 2000s, I was not watching football. So I have very little idea. So
Mr. Jones says, fire Sam immediately. No, you can't hold that against him. What he did as a child doesn't mean anything about his ability to do his job now. But
it
to
is
answer
weird that-
the chat was
Oh,
all
yeah.
over my two follow-up questions. Washington and Maryland. Washington is where Frank started his career in the NFL, and he went to Maryland.
Yeah. Jay says Florida State versus LSU game. Come on. I will watch college football if there is a marquee game that is convenient for me to watch. Like
the
Alabama.
Florida State LSU game.
I did watch some of that game because I had a friend who was a Florida State fan, and we were at a bowling alley that had the game on TV while it was going on. And so he was watching it and I was paying casual attention to it. I will go back and watch film of the top quarterbacks and draft prospects that I find relevant to my job and or my rooting interest for the Bears. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sitting down like who did couldn't even tell you who Tennessee played this last week.
Georgia.
Oh yeah, my roommate's a Georgia fan. He was watching it and they got smacked around a little bit. So that's all I know is that they got smacked around.
Tennessee.
So yeah, there you go.
Yep. So again, like people, because we're based in Nashville, college football's not big outside of
Yeah,
few
no,
Big Ten states
genuinely,
and the
it is
SEC.
very. I would find it so funny that some of our audience that grew up with college football being relevant, like you just go up north, go anywhere else. It's like nobody cares that there's a Georgia Tennessee game on. That game's not relevant anywhere else.
There is a shocking visual about the NFL. If Google a United States map showing NFL cities,
I guarantee you.
And notice how close all of these teams are to each other. And then in the West, they're so spread out. Like that's just America in general, right? But the NFL is a Northeast, East Coast league. And they're all boom, Midwest shoved right in there.
I will say too, and this is just the reality for those of you guys that don't know, like me, any of my friends from home who do watch some college football, guarantee you they could name more backup quarterbacks and third string quarterbacks in the NFL than they could starting SEC quarterbacks. I would say I could probably name a decent amount of the starting SEC quarterbacks. I'd say my people that I knew growing up could probably name majority 80 to 100% of backup NFL quarterbacks and maybe a handful of SEC QBs. But that's just like the weird reality of geography and fandom. A couple super chats. Kane came in earlier and talked about Carolina and said, have we not lost to trash teams before? They have. And yeah, to Kane's point, this game against the Panthers is no gimme for the Titans. It is absolutely going to be up in the air. I think they're not a guarantee that they win this. And Andre comes in and says this year's Atlanta game will be last year's Green Bay game, the game that you remember of having all these fun flashes of Traylon Burks and how everything went well and nothing was the same after that. And currently to this point, it would seem like that is the case.
Yep, for sure. All right, guys, have a great Thanksgiving. We are done for the rest of the week, but we will have a lot of coverage over the weekend. Obviously, Vols Vandy game is coming up, but then on Sunday, the Titans are back in Nissan Stadium, which means me and Jack, or Jack and I, whoever's coming at me for saying me and Sam, me and Jack, me and Zach, whatever the hell. I'm correcting my grammar. But Jack and I will be back up on the rooftop at Acme with our friends Spirited Hive and Ranch Water game day specials for Titans Panthers on Sunday. So get ready for that. Come see us pregame, postgame, or if you're not going to the game, hang out during the game because the rooftop is covered. So Nissan Stadium might get some rain, but we won't there at Acme. So come hang out with us there and wrap up your Thanksgiving with us. And also on your way out, like the show before you go. We appreciate you guys. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Safe travels to everybody who's traveling. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Appreciate it as always.